Hello Rockridge, this is Miss Gonzalez, and this is the artwork that you guys can choose to do this week. It's going to be an extra art assignment, so make sure you do what was assigned to your grade level first before you decide if you want to do this or not. Again, it's not required, but it's just a fun little extra piece if you guys want to do it. So we're going to start by doing the middle one, then we're going to do the left and the right. And we're going to be doing these really cool different colored harvest corn. So the first one I have is a rainbow color. This one here on the left hand side is going to be like pinks, reds, purples, and on the right hand side we have a cool colored one of nothing but different blues and greens. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with a pencil. I'm going to start right in the middle. And the shape I am doing is almost like a carrot shape, except unlike a carrot, it's not pointy at the bottom, and we have nice rounded edges on either side up here, and again, this is nice and rounded. What we don't want to see is this. That just looks like a triangle, and it doesn't look like a stalk of corn. So move this side. I'm drawing very lightly because at the very end, once we have our kernels drawn in and we color them in with marker, notice you don't see any lines on the outside in pencil. It's because we erase them. Okay, and we're actually going to erase the lines too on our pieces of corn kernels, so make sure you're doing that very lightly as well. So let's go ahead and draw the hair on this guy. I'm going to start right here on the side, and I'm going to kind of come down like this, make it a little wavy, and then straight. And I'm going to do one line, I'm going to do a second one. Notice that I'm breaking it up and not doing identical ones right next to each other. I did a long one, I did a medium-sized one. Now I'm going to do another small one at the very bottom right here. Okay, now we're going to do another piece of corn here, again making it a little wavy. Do 1, 2, and a third line. And I think I'll just do one more piece of hair. I'm going to have it kind of coming in the middle. Do 2 lines and leave it like that. And this one I have 4, and that's just because I had room for it. This is a little bit smaller paper, so I'm going to stick with 3. I'm going to do my one on my right hand side, and I'm going to have it lower. Again, nice and kind of rounded at the top, going inwards towards the bottom. And let's do our hair. Now, the hair on these are going to come off the page like you see here and then go behind this piece. Okay, perfect. And again, you never want to do more than 2 or 3 lines in each piece of hair. And actually, as you can see in this one, I only did 1 on this one, only 2, that one has 3. Sometimes you only need 1. This has 1, that has 1, this has 1, and that has 1. If you have too many, it just kind of looks too much. In fact, I'm going to erase this one line that I did in here because I think that might be too much. And now I'm going to do another one on this side. Let's do the hair. And one coming out here. Okay, perfect. All right, now we have the basic shapes drawn. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to start my kernel pieces. Again, draw lightly. I'm kind of doing mine a little bit darker, but I'm doing that so that you guys are able to see on the camera. And again, we're doing oval shapes. These are not circles. And I'm doing them kind of big. And I'm leaving some space in between some of them. That's totally fine. If you see mine, actually, I have space, a whole bunch of space in between some of these. And I actually think that makes it look really nice. So we do not want tiny little miniature pieces of corn kernels. Otherwise, it is going to take you a very, very long time to finish. Plus, you won't have enough room to actually color them if you make them too small. So again, keep in mind, we want them about the size of your pinky finger, or not your pinky finger, your pointer finger. That's about the size of all of mine, actually. And they don't need to go straight in a row. I'm kind of just doing mine, as you can see, randomly. And then as we go a little lower, make them a tiny bit smaller. Okay, so okay, add one more right there. All right, so I'm just gonna do the middle one, and that goes for everything. So get a black marker. You could use a Sharpie. If you don't have a Sharpie or a black marker, use a pen. And let's just trace over the corn stalk here. And then at the end, if you accidentally like miss some pieces, and you see the pencil marks, like I obviously didn't go straight over it, that's fine. We're just gonna erase it at the end. And you're only using the black marker to trace an outline over the hair. Now, like I said, I want my middle one to be rainbow colors, so we're going to do Roy G. Biv. And that stands for red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. That's what I have here. I have all of those colors in here. Now, indigo is just a dark blue, so if you don't have a dark blue, maybe use your light blue, and then when you need to make it darker, press down harder, and violet is just purple, okay? So I'm going to start with red. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to trace over a couple of red ones, and now I'm going to color those ones in. And a good way to color them is almost like circling inwards, so that we're not, if you were to go back and forth like this, you could accidentally get it outside your little oval, but if you're going inwards like this, that doesn't happen. Now I'm going to get my orange, because that's the next one in our Roy G. Biv, which is every color in the rainbow. Let's see. Perfect. Right. And you could do it differently. In fact, for me, I started off by doing red, putting the cap on it, putting it down. Then getting the orange, coloring it, putting the cap on it, putting it down. Then the yellow one. So you could do it like that. I just think it goes by a little faster doing it this way, but it's up to you. Now yellow is the next one, so we're going to do yellow, make this one yellow and that one. Again, you don't want them all right next to each other. Kind of try and break it up as best you can. Otherwise it looks weird. Right, after yellow we have green. Color these green ones in. I'm going to do one right here too. Alright, perfect. Now after green we have a blue. I use my light blue for this one. Okay. Perfect. Then we have indigo, which is our darker blue. And you can do this with crayons or colored pencils. I just like using mine with marker. And then violet, which is going to be our purple. Now I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that need to be colored in. So I'm just going to look and see what colors that I could, that maybe I don't have enough of, that I want to fill in. And so I'm thinking that we should have a yellow one right up here. Here I think I'm going to do color do I not have there? I also have this magenta that's not in RGBIF that I could add, but I think I'm going to stick with these. So let's see, what's not surrounding this one? I'm going to go with red. And then trying to find a color that's not already surrounding this. So I'm going to do the dark blue. Well, nope, I have dark blue right there. So let's think of a color. Maybe just the light blue. Okay. Need a color right here, so I think that's going to be green. Again, you're trying to pick colors that aren't right next to it, so it would be silly to do another yellow one right there or another orange one. And this one, I think I'm going to do purple because there's really no purple surrounding it. This one right here, I think we're going to do yellow. And then for here and here, let's see, I think I actually might do another yellow one right there and a yellow one down there. So I think that is perfect, and we have our rainbow piece just like that. So what I want to do now is just erase the lines on the side and actually inside my corn. So now you don't see any of the pencil marks, and if you want to go in and fill some of these empty spaces up with some more corn kernels, if you want it to look a little bit more full, like I kind of have it in here, you're more than welcome to, or you can make it a little bit bigger like I have it here. Now, if you have watercolors and would like to use them, we're going to use them for the hair. If you don't, use something else like crayons, colored pencils, or markers. It's up to you. We're going to use a combination of 3 different colors. We're going to use yellow, brown, and blue. So, start off with yellow. I'm going to do a couple just marks in here with the yellow. Now, if you used Sharpie, you won't actually see the color bleed. Mine's bleeding a little bit because I have water on it, and it wasn't a Sharpie, it was just a black marker. But that's okay, it's not too bad. And now I'm going to go over it with a blue, because yellow and blue make green. And you might be asking, why not just use the green that you have in your color instead of trying to make green? And the reason why I chose to do that is because this is just one shade of green. When you mix it with the yellow and blue, you get lime greens, you get turquoise, you just get different shades that I think look a little nicer. Now make sure you're going quickly and you're not just staying in one place, because the more you stay in one place, the soggier your paper gets and could potentially make a hole in it. Now this is not watercolor paper, this is thicker, so it worked for the watercolor. This is just regular printer paper, which is fine, you can still use this. And just make sure you're not staying, like for instance, in one spot, just going back and forth with more water. Alright, so now I'm going to get my brown, and I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the yellow, just go in pieces. I'm not coloring the whole thing in. Then I'm going to go in with my yellow and kind of fill in the white spaces with that yellow. And now I'm going to go in with the regular green here, kind of go over that. And I'm just blending the colors together on my paper, making sure that I do not blend them in the palette, otherwise you're going to ruin your palette. Okay, and I'm going to get another yellow, do some yellow in there, get some brown, a little bit of brown, and then I'll get blue. Okay, and now we get a nice blend of all 3 colors. I might get a little bit of brown and put it in here. So that is how you can do the corn. This turned out a little bit lighter, again, because it's thicker paper. So that is how you guys do this. Make sure you guys, I'm not going to finish these other 2 because the same way I did it here is how you would do it on each side. Okay? The only difference is switching up the colors. So just remember to erase everything when you're done, so you don't see any of those pencil marks, and keep this, hold on to it, so on Fridays we can do our little art show and tell and show each other the artwork we've made for the week. Okay? I hope you guys had fun with this. Let me know if you have any questions. Just send me an email.